Hello and welcome to the Thursday, January 30th, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich and today I'm recording from Jacksonville, Florida. One of the comments we often get when we're talking about Python malware is that on Windows, usually there is no sort of full Python environment like you have it commonly on Linux. Well, today Xavier has an interesting piece of Python malware that actually includes the entire Python environment in the form of a fake document. Document.zip is being downloaded here with the Python environment. Also interesting and not really that terribly unusual. When you start the malware, a PDF will open. In this case, some sort of generic Garmin related PDF. This is usually done to make the user feel like they opened a document. Probably the pretense here for delivering of the malware was that this attachment is supposed to include this PDF document. So if the user now clicks on the file, which really starts the malware, the PDF is opened for them, making them feel safe and sound, while in the background, all of their crypto coins and other sensitive information is being exfiltrated. Then we have two updates for Fortinet users. First of all, there is an exploit apparently for sale now. According to Threatmon, they posted on X that they saw an exploit for sale on a Russian forum. This exploit apparently takes advantage of the vulnerability I talked about yesterday. That's the interesting remote access via WebSocket bypassing authentication vulnerability. So definitely make sure that your devices are patched. It affects FortiOS version 7.0.0 through 7.0.16. The second item is, well, a little bit related maybe, but Fortinet also notified its users that if you are running a device without a FortiCloud license, if you don't have an active subscription, you must update the device within 7 days or you essentially will lose access to the FortiCloud interface via the device. Interesting strategy here to really push users to update quickly. Again, this only affects devices without the subscription. So of course, the other motivation here is to get users to sign up for a subscription. The advisory also points out that you can use the auto update feature in order to make sure that you are complying with this particular rule. 7 days sounds a little bit short, but that's the time limit they give you here to update your devices. And Sonarcube reviewed the open source Voyager package. This is a PHP package that's designed to manage Laravel applications, Laravel being the PHP framework. Both the Laravel framework and Voyager are extremely popular with millions of downloads. So nice for someone to look for vulnerabilities here. And they found 3 good ones. The first one, probably the most important one here, an arbitrary file write vulnerability. Next, there is also a reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability. And finally, an arbitrary file leak and deletion vulnerability. Particular, of course, arbitrary file writes, always critical since they often then lead to arbitrary code execution. This actually involves polyglot files, which is always an interesting issue. We covered that a little bit in class this week, where it can be quite difficult to actually figure out the correct MIME type for a file. Sometimes there are files that identify as multiple MIME types, and it's easy to then mislabel them. And attackers are apparently exploiting an unpatched vulnerability in Zyxel devices. This vulnerability was actually discovered, reported back in July. So it has been known, has also been publicly known for a while. Finally, attackers get around to exploit it. So no big surprise here. What's probably more surprising is that there is still no patch apparently available for this vulnerability. And talking about patches, VMware released a patch for a vulnerability in the Avi Load Balancer. This is an unauthenticated blind SQL injection vulnerability, and VMware assigned it a CVSS score of 8 1.6. Certainly something that you do want to patch. It was reported privately to VMware, so there are no additional details at this point available and no known exploit at this point. Well, and that's it for today. So thanks again for listening. Thanks to everybody who is sending in links. In particular, for example, the FortiGate news came in from a listener. Thanks, and talk to you again tomorrow.